with the way things played out, how are you feeling right now? Satisfied, unsatisfied?
Yeah, I feel great. I went and did my job, and you know, I watched the video. I saw the arm go limp. I know he said he was trying to relax himself, but I don't know any conscious person who just goes, I mean, right, this doesn't happen. So, but that's not my job. And to what Mr. Bennett said, they tell you in the pre-fight room, if I'm saying protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself, you have to give me something. And, you know, he said he couldn't hear me, but there's definitely nothing, you know, my arm's here, so there's definitely nothing over that one ear.
You definitely took some damage early on.
Absolutely.
I mean, give us an idea of how you felt in there. Were you concerned that the fight might be stopped the other way?
Yeah, I really wasn't even thinking about that. You know what? Actually, my initial entry was pretty beautiful. I had single leg to a drag, kind of almost took his back, and then where it went all wrong was he got his arm out the side, and he's really freaking strong, and he went up and down really fast. I wasn't able to reposition myself before the fall, so I fell on my head. And not only did I fall on my head, then he had my wrist trapped. So then he was unloading punches because my wrist was trapped. I couldn't get out to defend myself. And it took me a few minutes to get that squared away. And once I got it squared away, I think I didn't watch this part of it, but I believe I got in some type of half guard, popped up, put him against the cage, eventually got a takedown and then the choke.
You know, I beat a lot of ass in my day, you know, and I've also been knocked down and had to bounce back. So I can give you a million excuses on earth, but I can tell you right now that I was prepared, I was ready. Even in the warm-up, I felt extremely sharp. And sometimes you just have those fights when you go out there and it's like a badass dream. You want to punch hard, but you don't punch. You want to move forward, but you're stepping back. So I had too many moments in there, and Kamaru, he came out there and he won. So I still believe I'm the greatest welterweight of all time. So now my path is getting back and getting a belt. Sometimes everyone thinks that, you know, proving that means you go on a streak and you don't lose and you're undefeated. But sometimes the greatest champions have to face adversity and bounce back and win. So I'm looking to try to run that fight back.
I know you said you don't want to make any excuses, but talk about just how you did. I mean, did something surprise? Was his strength, his pace, was it surprising to you? I mean, what happened?
No, he didn't have a crazy pace. I mean, he was just kind of fainting and squatting, and he just made you very well aware that he wanted to clinch and he wanted to get close. And, you know, sometimes fighters, they want to prove that they can stand with you. They want to prove they can bang. And I said that a long time ago. I said one thing, if I had to give him an attribute, his composure for a fighter who hadn't fought a long time. And he kept that composure. He stayed to the game plan. You know, he took his time. He was patient. And, you know, it just wasn't a good night for me. So, like I said before, you know, we know what I'm capable of. I just look to rematch that and run that back, man. That was my 5th title defense. I feel like as a champion and what I've done in this organization, that the performance may not have vouched for a rematch, but I think my resume does.
No, you didn't get the finish that you probably would have wanted, but still, you know, overall, I know it's still fresh and you haven't watched it yet, but how do you feel about your performance tonight?
You know, I feel good. You know, I definitely would have liked to finish the fight. I definitely felt as if I slowed down in the 5th round, which is something that's uncommon for me. But I do feel good. Anthony Smith was the most experienced person I've ever been in there against, with 70 fights under his belt. And he showed that experience. He was extremely durable. He was extremely calm. I put him in a lot of positions where I felt most people would have freaked out. And he kept his composure. He did a really great job.
A little bit of an odd sequence, of course, with the point deduction. I mean, you had the illegal knee. It looked like maybe there was an illegal kick before that as well. I don't know if that landed or not, but give me an idea kind of what was going through your head as those sequences unfolded, and were you worried? Because we were told that because the foul was ruled intentional, if Anthony couldn't have continued, you would have been disqualified.
Yeah, that was. You know, the first kick, you know, I definitely aimed for his body, and that's where it landed. The illegal knee was totally unintentional. In the moment, I felt his body language rising. I felt his body, you know, rising. And I thought I was getting ready to time a great headshot right after he got off of his palm. To my understanding, on his fingertips, he's considered standing. And, you know, his body came up, I threw the kick, and I guess his palm was still down. And totally unintentional. Hats off to Anthony Smith for having a lion heart. I mean, I think the average person would have used that as a way out and became a world champion. He was tired. he had been hit with the kitchen sink, and I mean, I did an illegal blow, and he decided to allow the fight to continue, and I'm so proud of him for just being a real warrior out there and continuing the fight.